Jarrett's back, and thank fuck for that, mate. Welcome back.
I've spent the last 2 weeks working at the wharves. Awfully frosty there, but that's the first place you can get the physical media once it ships in. I find if you're just waiting on the dock and they crack those shipping containers open, you can get right in there rather than waiting, 2-3 weeks for it to hit store shelves.
Have they been
got to get in there before the John West guys?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, admittedly, everything smells of fish, but
I was going to say, have they pre-wrapped them at that stage?
Yeah, everything's ready to go.
Okay.
It's yeah. You just got to watch out because sometimes they sneak a few human cargo in there with them as well. Because most of the discs are coming out of Mexico these days.
Yes.
So yeah, just got to watch out for the human cargo.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah,
Nose beers. They come with a free nose beer. Every release
every fifth Blu-ray is basically a nose beer.
A nose beer. Yeah.
That's the plot for Lethal Weapon 5, by the way.
I'll pay to watch that. Oh God, yeah, but well, yeah. I was just thinking.
It's happening. Mel's directing it.
Oh wow! Okay, well that's excellent news. Yeah, absolutely. Oh well, I look forward to the press tour when he can reveal some of the secrets of inner Hollywood. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.
That's the plot.
Well, now he's in his best position. Now he can make it without the Jews, and he'll be happy. The Palestinians will be happy. All of the kids on the college campus, like Mel's been going off about the Jews for years.
It's called Lethal Weapon 5: Hamas Takedown.
All right, so let's get on to this week's releases. Kind of on topic in a way. Kind of a film about, I guess, inner conflict. Is Civil War. It's out this week on 4K Blu-ray and DVD. It's good to see Roadshow doing a 4K release of this, and the local release just mirrors the Lionsgate release in the US, so you've got the exact same content, which means you've got Atmos on the 4K and Blu-ray. Plus, there is a 6-part documentary on this one, which totals to about an hour. So it's a pretty extensive making of documentary, and to me, that's kind of better than a commentary track because it's visual in that nature. And then there's a trailer as well. So it's a pretty good release. I still have not seen it, but it is one I'm keen to look at.
I loved it. Really loved it.
Oh, good. Alex Garland rarely makes a misstep. So yeah.
The best thing about it is that it's bridge Jesse Plemons. He's not super skinny yet, but he's not super fat either.
He's not all kinds of kindness where he looks a bit emancipated.
But no matter what size he is, his head's always big.
Big, yeah. He's got that big Hollywood actor head.
I mean, I can't talk.
Kirsten Dunst is in it, isn't she?
Yes, she's the lead.
Because they're kind of a package deal to some degree with some of these features these days.
Yeah, when they did Fargo together, they were great in that.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah, absolutely. So that one's out. Roadshow's pretty much the only distributor putting stuff out this week. But admittedly, it's all pretty damn good content. The other release is Challenges.
Yep.
It's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. Looking forward to catching up with that one. I didn't get to see that one theatrical. Did have a friend say to me the most unbelievable thing about this film is the fact that she would have any interest with the two male leads because they're both ugly as sin. So, yeah, okay.
It's a power play. It's a power play thing, though, with her.
Yeah.
And it's the most sex you'll have with clothes on, this movie.
Although one of the guys,
excellent.
one of the guys,
dry humping.
One of the guys, the arguably the pretty one, which
he's Tom Holland.
Which
obviously.
one is that?
Is it the one from Black Riders or the one from The Crown?
Black Riders, yeah.
Is it contractual with Tom Holland that he says, I don't mind what you do in the movies just as long as the guys don't look as good as me? Because she's been opposite Timothy Chalamet and now she's opposite these two lads, and they're not what do they call them in Hollywood? The Timothy, rat face men or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's a contractual thing because admittedly Tom Holland is a good-looking chap and he's got a very youthful veneer. I mean, I think he's in his late 20s or something, and he still looks like he's...
I don't know. But before, did you say dry humping or dry umping?
Dry humping.
Because dry umping...
dry humping would have been a great pun.
Yes.
I wish I had thought I should have just agreed. I should have agreed with that one. So that one's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. Then Roadshow are releasing a classic from the Warner Archives, which I'm sure you're very excited about, Purple Rain, hitting 4K Ultra HD. Very exciting. And they've gone to the effort of doing an all-new Atmos track, which makes perfect sense for this film. The only thing that's really disheartening about this release is it is a 4K Ultra HD only release, which means you don't get a Blu-ray component, and they've cut down on the amount of special feature content. There's no new special feature content. There's just less special feature content. You lose about, I think there's about 4 or 5 extras you lose, and some of those extras were running at like half an hour each, like the backstage pass. And anyway, but you do get all the music videos, you get the audio commentary, and I think you get the trailer.
That release should come...
And a featurette.
It should come with an empty flip tray so you can keep your Blu-ray and stick it in there.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm going to do. I'm hoping I'll just put a little thing in there and put the Blu-ray straight in. I mean, I recommend everyone to do that because you can probably still pick up the Blu-ray at JB for like $7, maybe even $4 on a 20% off sale.
I wish I had kept all of my flip trays when I had the video store because I had thousands of them.
I could imagine. I've kept so many.
Yeah.
I've kept so many. It's just about finding the right one to fit the right case. Right. And it's an agonizing thing. But anyway, that one's coming out on 4K. And by all reports, the 4K transfer is phenomenal. So I'm really excited to check that one out. Then the last one that's coming out from Roadshow this week is DVD only, but I need to mention it because Glenn, I know you'll be all over it. Darkness of Man, which is the new Jean-Claude Van Damme DTV movie.
Yep. Absolutely. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm keen.
No. Excellent. Oh, yeah, that's it. And I mean, there's some other crap that's coming out, but it's not worth talking about. It's only on DVD, and let's face it, it doesn't star Jean-Claude Van Damme, so we'll just pretend it's
nobody cares what they are.
No, bugger them. I mean, And then I do have a little bit of news too I want to share is that Studio Canal have just revealed that on August 7th, they're releasing a few of their classics remastered titles. They're coming out in 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray and DVD. We've got The Conversation, the Francis Ford Coppola classic, but no, Ben, we aren't getting the ridiculous box set that includes the cassette tape and all of that. It's going to be 4K only. So
interesting cover art on that one.
It is, yeah. They're doing some different things, the old Studio Canal, when it comes to revisiting the classics. I mean, I don't know when the studios will get the memo of just put the original theatrical key art on the covers. That's what we want, especially when you're buying classics remastered.
Yep.
That's effectively one of the actual interesting things I've seen lately is that Criterion in the States have announced Todd Solondz's Happiness on 4K and Blu-ray, and they've actually kept the original key theatrical art. They've just changed the color pattern palette a little and shifted some of the characters around on it. But I was really pleased because I think that was just one of the most appealing posters because it just draws you in and you don't know really what you're in for.
Is that one being released in widescreen? Because I think that film was always like 4.3, wasn't it?
I think it is widescreen. I think my US DVD might even be in widescreen, but yeah, the local release, it was like through New Vision, which was distributed through like Kaleidoscope or something like that at the time. I'm pretty sure that was just them doing the 4:3 nonsense because they didn't source widescreen transfers.
I'm all for new artwork, but that's why you do a flip.
Yeah, have the option. Have the option. Artwork. I agree. Have the option to do sort of, you know, that way it puts it on the consumer.
Yep.
One of the things I really like what Screen Factory is doing of late is they've released all of these films on Blu-ray and now they're upgrading them to 4K, but now that they're doing the 4K, they are actually doing the original key art. And it's a good point of difference because they're doing it on their slip cases. I don't know if they're actually doing it on the newly commissioned art from the Blu-rays on the flip or not. But anyway, I'm really digging that, and I'm slowly upgrading every one of them as I go. So The Conversation, Soldier Blue, and also the Francis Ford Coppola film One from the Heart is making it. I don't know if we're going to get both the theatrical and the encore version in the local release. I know the UK, they released a 4-disc set, which had, both versions of the film on 4K and on Blu-ray. Here, I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully, Studio Canal will just at least do both films on 4K.
Yep. Cool.
Soldier Blue holds a very, very special place in my heart because I used to when I used to work in Alternate Worlds, we used to have this customer who'd come in once in a while. He was always wearing a suit. He always looked very kind of put together, but he would go on and on about all of the pissing scenes.
I knew this was that story. I knew. I just knew.
I thought it was going to be that.
His big one was Soldier Blue.
I thought Soldier Blue was it's also it's a pet name for Ben's dick.
Beaten to a pulp.
Yeah.
Soldier Blue, though, interesting though, is that obviously it's been out locally on DVD before. I don't think it's made it to Blu-ray locally before, and of course it's a 4K debut. But the film's been reclassified, so its previous rating, when it passed uncut, in the version that's widely available, because there's this, other version of the film that was heavily trimmed down, and I don't think there's any existing elements of that, and we're never going to see it. But it was M uncut locally. Now they've bumped it up to an R. So without any new content being added, I mean, yeah, there may be some special features, but I can't see that shifting the rating.
Is the rating changed because like social norms and sensitivities have changed?
I'd say you're correct, yeah, because there is a lot of Native Americans being brutally slaughtered.
I think there was some brutal rape in it.
There is, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's sexual violence. I mean, there's violence for a film of its time. It's still very graphic and quite disturbing. But anyway, you'll be able to enjoy that in the ultra high definition. Sadly, no Atmos though. So there's that. Then the last release I want to mention that's coming out on August 7th. Also, this one's coming out from Paramount via All Interactive Distribution, and it's a bit of a show favorite, Election.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. 4K Ultra HD. I think I only upgraded to that bloody Criterion Blu-ray maybe a year ago, but now I'm going to get the 4K. And let's face it, I know it's not going to have the Criterion special features, so it's one of those films I'm going to hold 2 copies of, but definitely worth it. Yeah.
Is there anything
as long as it's got the Taxi Ride music video on it? That's all I ask.
Is there anything better than that milkshake scene? Like,
so good. Oh yeah, no, the scene where he's scrubbing his penis in the
and that has the movie Fill Me Up, yeah. The scene Fill Me Up.
The scene,
Fill Me Up.
Yes.
Different heads.
Yeah.
And do you want to come back to my house and have a hot tub and fuck?
Yeah.
That was Chris Klein's line or something. Yeah,
mate,
God,
I'm getting that.
It's
that
such a great movie. I'm excited. Now, I did want to give a little bit of a focus to a title I visited recently.
Mm-hmm.
This is a local release from Imprint, Catacombs. Now, it also has another title. It was also known as The Woman Who Wouldn't Die.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a film that I had not seen, but I seeked it out because the director, it's directed by a chap named Gordon Hessler, and he directed a bunch of TV movies throughout the 70s and 80s, one of which I'd watched recently, Scream Pretty Peggy, which I really enjoyed with Bette Davis. But he also was responsible for directing 2 of my favorite 80s action movies with Sho Kosugi, Rage of Honor and Pray for Death. So it's just baffling. Yes. Absolute classic films, man. Like, I reckon I revisit those 2 at least every 2 years. But yeah, so he directed this. This is his first feature film from 1965. Black and white Hitchcockian thriller from the UK. I don't want to say too much to the story, but I will mention basically it's a man who's plotting to kill his wife because he's fallen in love with his niece. His niece is on his wife's side of the family, so there's no incest involved, just immoral sort of activity and decisions as such. And he does succeed in murdering her, but she begins to haunt him and his niece. And it's a really cool little film. I wouldn't say, look, yeah, I'm just trying to think. It's pretty contained, but it just works. It's just genuinely suspenseful, and like I said, very Hitchcockian. And funnily enough, I think the first thing that Gordon had done prior to directing this feature was a episode of the Alfred Hitchcock Hour.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it makes perfect sense. And of course, being an Imprint release, it's got one of those snazzy slip cases.
A lot of those Imprint releases are first time viewings for me.
Oh, likewise. Yeah, likewise. I really, and for the most part, I rarely have a regrettable buy.
Yeah.
I'm usually bowled over by the films. And this one's got a 4K restoration. It's the first time this restoration's appeared anywhere. In fact, it's a Blu-ray debut anywhere. And there's a ton of special feature content that's been all commissioned for this specific release. And it's everything from a film historian audio commentary to actual interviews with cast and crew that were involved in the film as well. So it's a real stellar effort. And I think it's one of those kind of like hidden gems because I'd never heard of the movie prior. And then after watching Scream Pretty Peggy recently, I looked at the director's filmography and I was like, I'm pretty sure this has had a release locally or it's getting one. And sure enough, I think it was coming out the next week. So yeah, Catacombs, that's my recommendation. It's widely available. I think there's 1,500 units of it out there. So maybe, seek it out sooner than later, because otherwise you'll get disappointing emails from people like Sanity to say, we're still trying to get that copy of The Chalk Garden or Green Ice that you ordered 3 months ago. Don't worry, we're still trying. You're like, there's no way I'm getting Green Ice or The Chalk Garden. So just spend the money now and save the disappointment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, gentlemen, that's it for me for this week. As always,
stay
physical.